Jesus had spent the night praying on a mountain. And when the day came, he called his disciples and chose 12 of them to be his apostles. Apostle means one who is sent. One who is sent to do the work of Jesus. And so these 12 people would become the closest associates of Jesus. And we read about them in the Gospels. Not much about them, but a little bit. So Jesus and the 12 and the disciples come down the mountain and they meet the crowds of people who have come from many regions, as far away even as modern-day Lebanon in the south, Tyre and Sidon, and Syria, and Jordan. And the people have come together to hear Jesus, as Luke chapter 16, verse 17 says, on a level place. Level place. I imagine that it was the charisma of Jesus that attracted these people. I mean, we're told in this passage that Jesus teaches and he cures. And everybody is coming because everyone wants a piece of Jesus, because he's radiating with this spiritual energy. He possesses a healing power. Luke gives us this picture of Jesus, okay? A picture of a powerful man, a mystic, a healer, a man who marshals his forces for a mission that the people, especially of Galilee under the rule of Herod Antipas, have been waiting for. This is Jesus' time. This is the moment. The crowd is hushed. What do you think Jesus is going to say to the people? As Luke says, he gets down on our level and he speaks. And it's a wonderfully self-revealing moment. Now that everyone is attentive, Jesus can lay out his program and his mission in detail. Jesus, what's your plan? Tell us. Tell us this grand plan of yours to make this world a better place. And so he addresses the disciples, the 12, the crowds, and he delivers a series of blessings and woes that you heard Marnie read. But not only does he pronounce blessing and woes, he describes the paradoxical life that goes with them. Blessed are you who are poor, Jesus says, for yours is the kingdom of God. And Jesus blesses those that the world shuns, the poor, the unemployed, the immigrants. And that day it meant the people who were non-Jewish, meaning Greek or Gentile. Jesus blesses the handicapped, the mentally ill, the people who live on the streets and at the margins of life. And Jesus says, blessed are you who are hungry, for you will be filled. Blessed are you who cry. Blessed are you who are hated because of your love for me. Luke doesn't tell us what the crowd reaction is to all of that. But we have to remember that the world in which Jesus grew up in and the world in which Luke wrote was not always a friendly place to people of faith. In the early years of the church, no one was honored for following Jesus. All of the 12, save for John the Beloved, were martyred for being a follower of Jesus. They died for what they believed. They died for the new age of this world that Jesus proclaimed. Because the way of Jesus meant everything to them, even more than their own lives. And so for the first 300 years of its existence, the community of Jesus' followers, called the Way, then called the Church, encountered times of persecution and beatings and imprisonment and ridicule. Because this was a world in which people were expected to be loyal to the Emperor of Rome and no one else. Because you see, the Emperor of Rome was the Son of God. No one was commended for being loyal to God, the God of Israel. In this series of blessings called the Beatitudes, Jesus turns the world upside down, where he turns some of the values of the world upside down, even the values that we base our lives on today, especially those of us who live in the first world. These abiding words of the Beatitudes predict a radically new world order, wherein the sick are healed and the weak become strong and the hungry are fed and the poor on the earth are rich. And Jesus calls this the New Age, or the Kingdom of God. And in the Kingdom of God, debt will be forgiven and wealth will be redistributed. The first will be last, and the last will be first. By a new age, in talking about a kingdom of God, which is kind of archaic language for us, Jesus is talking about a new way of life, a new set of priorities and commitments, values. This way of life called for new practices. And that's what Jesus asked his disciples and his apostles and the crowds to do. To be engaged in something new. And to see the world in a much different way than the majority of the world during the Roman Empire sees it. And so Jesus' words bring encouragement and hope and comfort to those who live under the domination system of their day. Meaning Caesar, the Empire of Rome, or Pontius Pilate, the governor over Israel, temple priesthood, the Herods. Those were the dominant voices in Jesus' day. And so how comforting and reassuring the Beatitudes must still be to those who are living under systems of dominance and oppression. You know, in our day, you know those families starving in Yemen and Sudan and Haiti and Afghanistan. You know 795 million people in the world don't have enough food on their plate to lead a healthy, active life. You know 3.1 million children die of hunger every single year, and every 10 seconds in the world a child dies of hunger. And every 25 seconds, every second, 25 children die of hunger or not enough water or water-borne illnesses. How comforting and encouraging the Beatitudes must still be for the homeless people who take refuge in the abandoned homes or cardboard boxes and blankets underneath bridges in our cities. I just received a text 15 minutes ago from a person who months ago was living in one of these abandoned homes just to seek shelter from the cold. How comforting and encouraging to public defenders aggrieved at the disparities between the rich and poor in the courts of law, or to parents walking hundreds of miles in search of a better life for themselves and their small children, or even those of us who live in reasonable comfort and greed standing in our communities, but long for peace in the world, and we long for honesty in our politics, and justice in our legal systems, and gentleness and kindness and love to flow unending in our communities. The Beatitudes, are they good news? I don't think I haven't figured it out yet. Because I know they're good news for some. But are they good news for me? I don't know. This teaching of Jesus, the Beatitudes, give us pause to reflect on how privileged that I am, that we are able to carefully reflect on this vision of life that Jesus calls the new age of God. And that following Jesus on the path of discipleship, this is where I put myself, invites us, me, to some deep self-examination and confession, an invitation to forgiveness, and to recommit myself to a new way of life. And I must see in this path, in this journey, an adventure that is so wonderful and beautiful to take. Because in this path I see what is good and what is whole, what is beautiful, what is holy. And that in the end of each day, I can say, I am. We offer an invitation for you to become a part of a community that seeks to follow a path that leads to a new age, some new priorities and commitments, so that the world can become a more equitable and just place for all.